time for change. Change to everything and absolutely anything. But with that being said, the most obvious question could be is, how's this all to begin? And even though this is also to involve the explorative experience that has been described as the walk of life, but this is, however, the second part feature of what has been described as green change. So with that being said, even though a book could have been written about this whole subject, a few notes have been made, so just sit back, listen up, and just be patient to what I have to say. So with that being said, to start with, well, it's been 19 years of supporting this plant for all its mystical and magical reasons, where all of them have not only proven themselves to be life-changing reasons, but also life-beneficial reasons as well. 16 years of having the opportunity to not only explore different towns and cities, but having the opportunity to experience them there as well. A major difference in living somewhere than just being there as a momentary tourist. Yet during that time I've been harassed countless times, and again in so many different places, by those claiming that they are there to serve and protect. Police brutality is nothing new. I've been slapped, punched, pushed, insulted, pepper sprayed, and completely victimized while being handcuffed. I've been interrogated for hours and been left without medical care. In 19 years, the police have showed more disrespect for my life than what they have respected my life. In 19 years, it's truly knowing that I am not the only person that has endured this all over the country. So, it's honestly stating that there is an agreement that I am no friend of them and they are no friend of me, but I am not a enemy of the public. So with that being said, in the words of Nelson Mandela, when a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. Okay, so firstly, what is the Bill of Rights? Well, it's knowing that the Constitution contains the Bill of Rights, which also again protects the basic fundamental rights with which every person is born with, whereby it's knowing that the Bill of Rights also applies to all laws, noticing that any legal law will be invalid if it is in conflict with any one of the Bill of Rights. So who is actually bound by the Bill of Rights? Parliament, provincial legislatures, municipal councils all may not create laws that conflict with the Bill of Rights. Thus, presidents, ministers, premiers, members of executive councils in provinces, mayors, municipal councillors, other state departments or other state enterprises may not act in conflict with the Bill of Rights, whereby it's also knowing that the courts also have to apply the Bill of Rights in any judgment that they may come to enter into, and any judgment that is going against any one of the Bill of Rights should be deemed invalid. But it's also acknowledging that the individual, corporations, organizations, industries, institutions are also all bound by the Bill of Rights, whereby it's being able to prosecute the police for not appearing in court after 48 hours. But it's also being able to prosecute the individual for a racist remark, for instance, whereby it's also knowing that legally being called racist is even legally a racist remark. Okay, so seeing that it's the police who are enforcing these laws, yet who are the police? Well, it's knowing that the police are constitutionally governed by the following. Chapter 11 of the Constitution, where in Act 108 of 1996 states that the police have the responsibility to 1. Prevent, combat and investigate crime, 2. Maintain public order, but of course acknowledging that this is a systematic order, 3. To protect and secure the inhabitants of the Republic and their property, and to uphold and enforce the law. 4. To create a safe and secure environment for all South Africans. 5. To prevent anything that may threaten the safety and security of any community. But was it not the police who threatened the safety and security of a Rastafari community in Namaste? 6. Investigate any crimes that threaten the safety and security of any community. I wonder if they are investigating themselves. 7. Ensure criminals are brought to justice and participation in efforts to address the causes of the crime. But within all of this, it's easily acknowledging that the police are not allowed to create rules or regulations that are, how could you say, like laws that individuals are instructed to follow. Seriously, we are not instructed to follow anything that these police may come to state, whereby we are only instructed to follow the laws as they are instructed to follow the laws. Again, they are instructed to follow the laws. Okay, so what else is there to know about the police? Well, when their code of ethics is as follows. 1. Integrity. All the employees of the SAPS regard the truth as being of the utmost importance, yet they themselves can't handle the truth. 2. Respect for diversity. All the employees of the SBS acknowledge the diversity of all the people of the country and treat every person with equal respect. Yet, how many people are stating that the police hold themselves above all others? 3. Obedience of the law. All the employees of the SBS respect and uphold the law at all times. Really? 4. Service excellence. All the employees of the SBS work towards service excellence. Yet, how many people are complaining about the service of the police? 5. Public approval of all the All the employees of the SBS always work with and for the approval of the community. Now, ironically enough, if it weren't for the criminals, people would be stating that the police are actually public enemy number 1. Okay, then there's the 6 cornerstones of the police. Now, this is easily to be noticed through their hexagon badge that they have all come to wear. But it is to wonder if they actually know the spiritual meaning of the hexagon, the 6 cornerstones, or even that of the number 6. So this is what the police have based their 6 cornerstones upon, and it goes as follows. 1. People. The SAPS is a people-oriented service. It is a service for the community, by the community, with the emphasis of the fundamental rights of all the people of South Africa, whereby clearly indicating that it is us, the people, who are the masters of the police. 2. Order. Public order is one of the most basic needs. The most important function is to maintain public order and stability. But now they are indicating that it is them, the police, who are the masters of the public. 3. Law. The Constitution is the highest law in South Africa and provides the fundamental legal framework within which the SAPS must operate. Now, this even goes on to constitutional judgments that have been handed down by constitutional courts within regards to that of cannabis. 4. Impartiality. The SAPS operates as an arm of the government of the day, with the powers which, through the democratic process, are allocated to it by the citizenry. But it's also acknowledging that, once again, presidents aren't even able to create laws themselves. Thus, the police are not able to create laws themselves. 5. Crime. The SAPS is the main stakeholder as far as crime prevention is concerned. However, it is not the only party and needs the cooperation of other state institutions and society as a whole. The SAPS cannot control all the socio-economic factors that are conducive to crime, but in this it is clearly stating that crime prevention is a business, so for this business to operate, it needs crime, whereby if you had to have a crimeless country, you wouldn't have a SAPS. So, in all of this, what's truly concerning is that in February 2018, the SAPS Minister of Police, stated that the police should ignore the human rights of all the criminals. Yet, with every individual being innocent until proven guilty, this is a clear statement that the police should ignore the human rights of all the individuals. Okay, then there's the situation of an individual casually walking down the street, minding their own business, not doing any harm to anybody, and the police driving past all of a sudden, doing a huge U-turn, pulling up next to the individual and wanting to search the individual. So what right do the police have to search this individual? Now, it has been described as that of suspicion or that of probable cause. But when the legal terms of suspicion has described suspicion as being more of a guess or more of a hunch, but less than probable cause, it would then be to explore the legal terms of probable cause, which has been described as the following. It is when it is based on logical belief, supported by facts and circumstances, that a crime has been or is being or will be committed. Now, agreeably, this has been argued as defamation of character when this has come to occur. But in mentioning defamation of character, it would then be to explore the legal terms of defamation of character, which has been described as the following. Defamation can be described as an unlawful intentional publication of a defamatory statement concerning another person which has the effect of lowering the good reputation of the person who has been defamed. The law protects your reputation, and that the unjustified publication of anything damaging to a reputation may allow you to claim damages for deformation. Again, this is deformation. So it would be acknowledging that this statement could be recognized as defamation against the idea of a police. But in that being said, it would then be to also recognize all the other articles, news broadcasts as defamation against the police as well, when this isn't actually defamation against the idea of the police, when it is also backed up by truthful facts as well. Okay, so individual is searched, cannabis is found, you are detained and taken to the police station, but now given the opportunity of walking straight out of there with never ever seeing a day in court, but within this opportunity also being given the opportunity of completing, as with paying, the J53 form, of which is also the admission of guilt form, in order to walk straight out of there and never seeing a day in court. But with that being said, it would also be acknowledging the following. In 2013, the Western Cape High Court delivered a judgment in the matter relating to a case where a person paid an admission of guilt fine in November 2008. After he had been arrested on a charge of possession of dagga in contravention of 4B of the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act 140 of 1992, and was subsequently released from custody, whereby stating the following as part of the judgment: that the existing J53 form, thus the admission of guilt form, is inadequate and may not pass constitutional scrutiny, whereby the existing J53 form does not mention the constitutional rights of an accused person, which must be highlighted, and a police officer or attorney must surely warn the accused about the criminal record that he or she will have as a result of the decision to pay the admission of guilt fine. The court further held that the existing J53 form must be amended to include this warning, and that the accused must also be informed that he or she will be waiving the following: 1. The right to be sentenced only after the state has proved his or her beyond reasonable doubt. 2. The right to contest the allegations in an open court, to call witnesses, and sometimes also the right to legal representation. And yet, in order to comply with the above-mentioned judgment, the SAPS recently drafted an amended J53 form. But it's important to note that the J53 form is an official form of the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, and as such, the SAPS is not legally allowed to amend the form without permission of that department. Again, they are not legally allowed to create rules or laws So, in the meantime, by paying the admission of guilt fine, he or she will be deemed to have been convicted in court of the offence. That's without appearing in court, having the benefit of facing the accuser, or having legal representation, or having the opportunity to defend yourself by any means, and that the conviction will be recorded as a previous conviction against his or her name and will appear on his or her criminal record. So again, at any point in your life, if you have accepted the admission of guilt fine for any apparent reason, in the eyes of this apparent legal system, you are guilty and are an apparent criminal. And again, no one shouldn't just simply accept the admission of guilt fine. Okay, so give some close attention to this, as it may come to interest many of you. And yet, concerning the matter of search and seizures, on the 27th of July 2016, the Constitutional Court handed down a judgment within connections to the case of Minister of Police and others versus Kunjana regarding the declaration of the invalidity of Section 11(1)(a) and (g) of the Drugs and Drug Trafficking Act 140 of 1992, which is as follows. Section 11(1). A police official may A. if he has reasonable grounds to suspect that an offence under this Act has been or is about to be committed by means of any scheduled substance, drug or property at any time, A1 enter or board and search any premises, vehicles, vessels or aircrafts on or in which any substance, drug or property is suspected to be found. A2. Search any container or other thing in which any such substance, drug or property is suspected to be found. G. Seize anything in which in his opinion is connected with or may provide proof of a contravention of a provision act, with the Constitutional Court concluding with the following: that Section 11(1)(a) and (g) of the Act constitutes an unjustifiable limitation of the right of privacy and dignity and therefore invalid, and that ultimately less intrusive measures exist to achieve the purpose of this Act, recognizing that police need a warrant to search your house, your vehicle or your bag. Do not let the police search any one of these items without a warrant. Okay, so simplistically, wrongful searches are criminal offences, and that individuals can be compensated for enduring these criminal offences. So when does a wrongful search come into occurrence? Well, this is when a police official who acts contrary to the authority of a search warrant issued under Section 21 or a warrant issued under Section 25(1) or (b), who without being authorized under this chapter 1. Searches any person or container or premises or seizes or detains any article, or 2. Performs any act contemplated in subparagraph 1, 2, 3 of Section 25 shall be guilty of a criminal offence and liable of a conviction to a fine not exceeding 600 Rand or to be imprisoned for a period not exceeding 6 months. And again, the victim is to be compensated. But again, it's easily acknowledging that a warrantless search is that of a criminal offence, and that they themselves are committing crimes by doing these warrantless searches. So, in stating that, it would also be acknowledging that if they were to search any person, vehicle, or house, it has been clearly stated that it should be done in a humanely, decent, orderly manner, and that they simply just cannot treat your values or valuables as they want and just toss it around and toss you around like as if you're a piece of garbage. Again, this is in itself a criminal offense. But within this being stated, it's easily acknowledging that within this day of age we have come to exist with these cell phones that can take photographs, videos, and even voice record. So it would be easily acknowledging that through photographing or videoing or even voice recording your own personal search could protect you from an unjustifiable judgment when that day does come. Hopefully it never does come. And again, it would clearly be mentioning that in doing this, you are not committing a crime, and by them taking your cell phone away, by you doing this, is them again committing a crime. So in mentioning the walk of life, again, this is to be a 420 kilometer journey that will be entirely walked over the course of 10 to 14 days during the month of summer, where it's to reveal the emotional, physically descriptive state of existence within the sensational, definitive state of an emotional, meaningful life, where it's to explore roads, towns, beaches, forests, and into the mystically unknown, where it's to sensationally inspire other emotional beings that the sensational states of an emotional, meaningful peace, love, happiness, truth, possibilities, creativity, and freedom is not only able to be sensationally discovered, but emotionally lived as well, where this is also able to be described as a spiritual journey that is against the sensational state of emotional depression that exists within this emotional, physically descriptive state of existence, when it is acknowledging that it is to sensationally inspire others that they too can emotionally overcome their sensational state of darkness, as with emotionally achieve their sensational state of heaven within this emotional, physically descriptive state of existence. So if we were to compassionately donate towards this notion of cause, of which is also able to be reflected upon as the portrayal of a seed that is only to grow into much more magical and mystical things that are only to be beneficial towards an individual's life, not just my life but other individuals' life. This is all intended not only for my life but also intended for other individuals' life. It's being the change that you seek in this world, and it's inspiring that change within this emotional, physically descriptive state of existence. Now, if I were to compassionately donate towards this notion of cause, again, it's acknowledging that a donation is a gift to fund. So this is a voluntary action. So if you're going to hem and haw about it, I am not hem and hawing about this matter. So if you're going to hem and haw about it, rather leave it. Rather go and buy cigarettes, buy beers, buy whatever you want, in place of donating to a positive cause that is only to inspire individuals that they can live within this emotional, physically descriptive state of existence. So if it were to compassionately donate towards this notion of cause, it would be to email, and the banking details will be forwarded to you. But it's also acknowledging that no contributor would go unnoticed, and that any contribution will be greatly appreciated. So on the tip of the tongue, as a mere example, if you would like to contribute, I would like to give back. So if you have stickers or anything that you would like to be pasted along the way, I am willing to do this. Be a part of this journey. Contribute, be a part of it. Let's stand together for the betterment of life, instead of standing alone hoping that better days are going to come, when better days are not going to come unless if we created themselves ourselves. So let's do this together, and let's inspire life, let's promote life, let's enjoy life, and let's just live life. Live the life you love and love the life you live. So in the words of the Dalai Lama, the roots of good, of all goodness, lay in the soil of appreciation for goodness. So with that being said, may the lovers keep on loving and the haters keep on hating, and with that being with equal understanding, may it be so. Namaste.